It's good, yo. I'm not gonna waste your guys' time because this is a pretty straightforward type of sample. I'm not gonna lie. So I'm gonna make this quick. I'd be on YouTube just listening to music. I've known Odeal for a bit, but his music's great. I just got the random idea to sample his shit. I usually, when I'm listening to samples, I usually just listen to the intro, the outro, and like the bridge because those usually don't have drums, you know, in certain like R&B songs. So I listen to this. I heard the chords and I was like, okay, these chords are beautiful. And then like I'll go to the outro because the outro usually has variation in it, but it's kind of like the intro, you know. So I heard the vocals. I was like, okay, I'm gonna fuck with that. And I ended up going on Apple Music, and this nigga has a an EP of just the melodies of this EP. So I was like, wow, this is great. You see here, I started chopping up everything quick. I got the chords right away, and I just looped it. Put some, oh yeah, I got Cymatics Dark Sky on it. It's actually automated, so it's not always on. So that's what the main chords sound like. And then here I took the vocals out. I made it a little bit lower. Then I added Echo Boy just to add some delay to it, some reverb, all that. And then here's where I use the splice tool. Splice tool is great in Ableton actually. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna like take this and then just drag it. You're gonna drag it into the MIDI and then it'll let you slice it. When you use the splice tool, you can actually use it by transients. I always go by transients usually. And then if you change the sensitivity, it'll get like every transient in the beat here. I usually put it down to like usually 20 to 40. And then you could just play with the chops here. This is how I do most of my melodies. That shit works so well, so you'll just play around with the chops like this until you find something you like. So here's what I end up getting for the chop here. So I just put that in between like the empty spaces of the chords and the melody. And then I added Echo Boy to it, classic analog delay. I usually use this or the space echo that is really good for reverb, delay, all that type of stuff with vocals. You can also just use the regular reverb plugin in Ableton, this shit right here. That also works well. I use that sometimes. Or you could just use it in the side bar and then edit it. There's different ways for everything, so it all works. But after that, this is what the melody sounds like with everything put together here. And I added like a little reverse open hat here just to transition into the next part. And then we're gonna get into the drums. Yeah, and if you ever have troubles finding the key of the sample that you're using, I usually just use tuner or auto key. So if you just open up that, it'll show you the chords that they're actually playing and you can just go off of that. So that usually works for me and that helps me find where I want to lay my 808s later when I'm using the drums. All right, so for the drums, they were pretty simple. I kind of just did like regular R&B style drums. And I had like a little jazz type of hi-hat loop in there. But I'll show you all that right now. So here, I started off with the snare. I got the perk in there. Now I'm gonna add the hi-hats here. And then here's the little jazz hi-hat type of loop I was talking about. I'm gonna get my open hat in there. I'm gonna add one more perk just in the middle. And then after that's the 808s and the kicks. And that's where it really comes through. And that with the melody, it all comes together after that. So yeah, that's basically it for the beat there. Besides that, it's just mixing the vocals, making sure like you can actually hear the vocals. I kind of made it So the low end's kind of out of there, and I raise the high end a bit for the vocals, and then playing around with the chords, and then adding just little shit you like. I think I pitched it down after too. I think I pitched it down a full or full octave there. So play with it how you like, but that's basically the premise of going about sampling a beat like this. Shout out Odeal. That song's crazy. The whole EP is crazy. Y'all should listen to it if you haven't. But yeah, thank you for watching. Peace out. Catch y'all later.